Hello, Kalu Kalay. How are we doing today? My name is Notepad and on our games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on Clanhead some more. A game about family and about losing it. So, did some work last night. Did a lot of work, in fact. Things are out of position yet again. The way you are. Bleh. Yeah. So, generally speaking, what I ended up doing over the weekend, mostly, was not work on the town names. If I don't look at them, they can't hurt me. What I ended up doing was fixing up the entirety of the combat system. Combat is done, factions are done, various combat situations are in, various pieces of equipment are in, as well as added companions and threats. These are supposed to be kind of like minor enemies more than anything, characters and such that kind of pop up. And then we have Boots on the Road, which is the traveling system. Traveling came pretty simple. And then also the Basic Advancement system. Basic Advancement is, generally speaking, you're going to be only really increasing your attributes via aging. That's kind of the big thing, is getting older. You age into things. You're getting more attributes, you're getting more toys, you're getting more things to play around with. Generally speaking, these are pretty consistent. However, you will also end up losing attributes as you grow older, and generally speaking, that's a little bit painful. However, you also have training. Now, training, how it works is you're going to mark a skill, you use it, and at the end of the session, you're going to roll based on whatever your current skill rank is. So, if I am adept in a skill, if I have, let's say, a 20, what's going to happen is I'm going to take my 3d6 and I'm going to roll, and I get to increase my 20 by 17. Well, two sixes and a 5. It's a lot easier to learn that initial part. To get to, being adept at something means you can learn it pretty consistently. You can get up to skilled as long as you are using it. After skilled, things starts going down a lot more. By the time you hit professional, it's getting a lot slower to advance. By the time you hit masterful or even paragon, this is taking a very long time to get anything done. So generally speaking, as long as you are using skills, using abilities and things like that, you're going to end up around here. That's the general gist. You're going to end up around the skilled area before you end up retiring the character into brighter pastures. But today we're going to be using the clan system because yes, we got a lot more. We've got 2 scales to do. Oh, hey, what are you building now? That is drawing AI or something you yoinked from the internet? All of this is AI as always. Good old AI. Shmai. We've got the clan scale, and then we're going to be moving on to domain scale. I really don't think the clan scale is going to be that long, relatively speaking. Domain scale is going to be a lot of charts. That's going to be the big thing there. It's going to be a lot of charts. So that's kind of the goal for this week. Trying to get all of these done. If it gets done, awesome. Generally speaking, I'm not expecting it to be that long. It's just going to be fun and time consuming. So, I don't think it's going to take a lot of famous last words. Yeah. So, generally speaking, if I open you up a little bit. Yeah, okay, weird. Generally speaking. So, we've got on the clan scale, we have management. So, we have we'll say resource management. This is going to be more explaining what your actual holdings are going to generate, but maybe we don't deal with, maybe we put it down here instead. We put management of resources down here, because if we don't, we're going to have to maybe do... Maybe we have to put it up here. I'm trying to think of like what's going to be the optimal way of doing this. No, okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and we're going to put it down here. Resources is going to be down here. This is going to be talking about family management and clan politics. All right, easy enough to understand. So, family management. So, the Clan Saga. No man is an island. No man is an island on the no man is an island on Callis. Every family has a story to tell, and problems that unfold around. The clan is the bedrock of society. Let's see. The clan is the bedrock of society. My glasses, and I can't see jack shit. Being blind is fun. I got some eyes. Fuck. One moment. Gotta make sure that I can see things. As is custom. As is the way, they say. The clan is the bedrock of society. A foundation from which a story is told, and relationships are foundation from which story is told and relationships formed. When managing a clan is more than just being related. Many different people, many different souls will join the clan that are not related by blood, or marriage, but instead companions, allies, and occasionally a desperate alliance, The clan's story is a collision story. Clan story is a story of Callis. Clan story is a story of Callis, unforgiving but warm to those. Clan story is a story of Callis, unforgiving but accepting of those who embrace it. It's kind of the idea. So we immediately go on to family matters. Family matters. So what I'm going to do is we're going to open up Blood, Coin, and Steel here real fast, because God help us all. I need to find the family through the generations. There we go. Doomed to repeat. Let's see. Do we want to put on the characteristics and quirk situation? I might be able to legitimately just put this in 1-to-1. That would really save me some time. Let's see. Okay, let's try. every clan has a central family at its core. This is the family of the Clanhead. This is the family of the Clanhead, and whom the clan bears its name from. Oh, actually, owes its name. While the Clanhead doesn't have direct control over all of their family members. Each of the family understands the importance of the Clanhead and defer to them in moments of need. How do I want to do? Because the idea of the Family Matters section, we need to talk about how the family functions. What are some things that we gotta note about it? We're gonna have to talk about marriage. We're gonna have to talk about we're gonna have to talk about kids. That's gonna be one thing. We're gonna talk about kids. We're gonna talk about, we don't have any like benefits and drawbacks in this stuff. It says he wants perks. I have no idea what he wants from there. I will maybe DM him a message, be like, what do you want here, man? Because the vast majority of the perks in the game are very bold. The vast majority of perks in Bannerlord are like 3% this, 4%, like 5% this. Not many of them are like these massive like things, and that's what you would need to do in a tabletop game, obviously. Each of the family members understands important. Plan to defer. We want to talk about family. I think traits on Crusader Kings would be better option. Yeah, but even then, like if you go to like the Crusader King, like if you go to Crusader King's traits, like especially like the CK3 traits, like the CK3 traits are, they change things to it quite a bit, and as you can kind of see, like they are very different from one another, and it's a lot of like opposite. A lot of things are opposite from one another. It's like, oh, well, you're fickle, you're stubble, you're eccentric. Or, hey, you're patient, you're impatient. It's like back and forth. CK2 has a lot more... There's a lot more traits in CK2, but a lot of them are a lot smaller as well. It's like you kind of see over here, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're hideous. Oh, you're an imbecile. You're a genius. You're Amazonian Herculean. You're... Yeah, a lot of these, like, oh, it's a lifestyle trait. It's kind of like you kind of already get these indirectly. So that's why I'm like, I don't quite know how I want to do that. Yeah, given they define personality of the AI. Yeah, that's kind of, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, do I want to like try to like gamify that? And like, how do you gamify that? Let's see. How do I... actually, no. Family matters. Moments of need. However, most of the clan will go about their daily wants and needs. Getting into trouble just as much as getting into getting into trouble just as much as getting into just as much as doing their job. So we're going to kind of immediately open up with let's do a quick talk about adulthood. We're just going to do a quick talk about adulthood. A child stops being one at the age of 16. During this coming of age ceremony. This coming of age ceremony is both important for the clansmen as well as the PL, as well as the clan itself. When they become a full adult, they are able to be played by the PC, by the PL, and by the players as well as begin their job in the clan. Many adulthood is often celebrated as a transition period in their life into a new exciting future of being a member of the clan fully. Adulthood also means that the clansmen must begin thinking about the future. As well as their own issue. When while betrothals are common, it's ultimately up to the clansmen to find themselves a wife or husband. A wife or husband. Kind of thing is like, yeah, you're gonna get married to this person. You can, but it's ultimately up to you. We do live in an egoist nightmare. Patrol the common. It's ultimately up to the clansmen to find themselves. It's ultimately up to the clansmen to find love in a treacherous world. Kind of just opening up, being like, yeah, when you hit 16, you technically are able to be played. That's kind of the big thing right there. You are able to be played. So, let's talk about getting married. So, among the D-Day, marriage is an informal binding pact between man and woman. The host will invite many different clansmen and many different clans to witness the ceremony of announcing the partnership. And host will invite many different clans to witness the ceremony of announcing the partnership, and the consummating the relationship, that night. This is to spread the word that the clansman has been married, and who the spouse is. Who the spouse is. Multiple marriages may occur on the same night. Multiple marriages may occur on the same night, and among the villagers, dozens of marriages may take place. They take place during festivals or other get-togethers to guarantee the knowledge of binding families. Anesians are law bound to the sacred, to the contractual law of, are law bound to the contractual obligations of merging familial assets together. In short, the Anesians view marriage as just another business deal conducted at a magistrate's office. Maybe included in larger business deals. Patricians and other families using daughters as a bargaining chip is a time-honored tradition among the Anesian aristocrats. Somi have a fairly lax approach to the concept of marriage, believing it is a waste of time. If two people are living together, they are effectively a family. They are effectively a family, and are expected to keep one another good health. This has led to a few incidents where a quote wife and a husband do not actually like one another, but live together for mutual benefit. This has also led to honor killings as a wife spends the night at another man's home, only for the husband. Only for the husband to take bloody vengeance. A bloody vengeance upon them. For cuckolding them. Finally, the Morin have extravagant wedding ceremonies conducted by a priest of the way of life, or at least a member of the laity, or at least a ordained member of the way of life, at least an ordained member of the way of life. These bonds are not only legally binding, but also culturally binding. Sleeping outside the bonds of marriage are considered quite haram would be the correct word. To preserve sever the binds between married individuals. I believe this is the first time I've ever had to use the term cuckolding in one of my games. About a game going a concept of marriage, normally you don't see that play on games. You need to talk about it a little bit, just because this is kind of a setup, if you can kind of say about this is the idea of marriage and things. It's so I can then put in there clansmen can be a clansman if a clansman finds someone they care about, they performing the requisite ritual or signing the right papers will bind them together. They are by the laws of Callis, together till death. Just kind of a little idea of like, you need to talk about what marriage looks like in this setting. You need to talk about the idea of like, hey, Dine kind of just believe that this is someone I like, we're going to get married, and we're going to have to announce it to everybody. The Anesians, all you need to do to get married in the Anesian world is go to a magistrate with the person, or a contract. You sign and it's done. You've married that person. Or the Somi don't have a concept of it. They don't really care. It's just like, do you live with me? Yeah, okay, we sleep in the same bed together. By virtue of the laws of the land, we are married. Because there's things that can erupt from that. What do you do if you're playing an Anesian game, for example? You know, you're an Anesian patricians doing Anesian patrician things, and hey, what the fuck do you mean my uncle has, fucking married some random fucking person? Fuck! What do you mean that you are in a weird relationship with that you've married a Somi woman? You haven't, though. You are not legally married to this woman. You have not signed the fucking papers, but you are in their culture married, and now their family's pissed at us. Fuck. Because yeah, it's like technically you can very easily marry a Somi without realizing it. I was like four to five people like your average adventure live together. Then you're just at that your family. That's the way they would see it. Is like, yeah, you're family. You are actively like in a campaign together. You're gonna work together. You're friends. Doesn't necessarily mean you're your family. Are you boinking one another? All right, that's different then. That changes the nature of things, if you kind of get the idea. That's why so many clans are like, yeah, we're all a family. And it's things get a little bit muddier and things get, you know, you've kind of are starting to track family trees and things. It's like, ooh, things get a little bit hinky. But the Morin are like, yeah, hey, don't sleep around unless you legally marry the person in the front of a pastor. You have to get a priest of the way of life to actually say God has approved this marriage. So it's like, and it's pretty much a way to be like, hey, they're together, they're not together, things such as that. So we've got that, and issue. The clan will not expand without new members. Some of the clansmen will join of their own volition. Pledging their service to the Clanhead, and in turn the family. For monetary incentive, or loyalty, to another. However, the most common way to build up the clan is to prepare the next generation. Children are always needed to pass on the lineage of the clan and continue to bear its name. During their lives. The clansmen will always be competing with the Clanhead, and any of the main family will always have this specter of the next generation looming over them, looming over them as a constant pressure. On a gameplay front, the clansmen are fragile individuals who will tragically die at a moment's notice. Should this occur, the PL will need a new clansman. Which they can control the development of through their late clansmen's children. What we want to do. this. Let's see this correctly. So, anytime an adult or older man, an adult or middle-aged woman, have sex. 6. Make this easier on narrator perspective. Make this easier on from a narrator bookkeeper perspective. This is every season. Characters are actively attempting to have more children. Make sure to make a health roll. +1 to the mother's health roll. So adult is, woman is, an adult is. Young adult, adult. I need to remake this. Let's see. So, anytime in LNA young adult to middle-aged young adult to middle-aged woman have sex. To make this easy, there's a chance for pregnancy. Anytime this occurs, the Clansman rolls 1d6, so we're going to need to make insert table. We can do 3, but 3 actually. Woman. Four to 6 is 50%. 5 to 6. 5 to 6 would be 1/3, 33, 33%. And the 6, which is going to be that would be 16% if I remember correctly. So let's do. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Ooh, nope. Keep clicking the wrong button. So fucking over. We do that. What if I hit this button like this and we. Come on, you don't want to come up here? You don't feel like you got enough space? Or what? What if I change you all to PT Sands? What if I change this to PT Sand? What if I change this to PT Sand? This. Why aren't you working with? Okay, now you're working with me. Shouldn't be. Fuck. Okay, so we'd be up. Woman will be pregnant for 2 seasons before she gives birth to a boy or before she did willingly pregnant for 2 seasons before birth. I'm going to do this. We're putting this on a separate table, so we're this. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. There we go. Okay. So, gender of the child. A child is lost. It's a boy. It's a boy. Twins. Twins. Boy, it's a girl. 1 to 4. 1 to 4. No health rolls. 2 seasons of health rolls. 4 seasons of health rolls. D6. On a 1. So, health of mother. 1 to 5. Da, 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 da. So then we get to do insert table. We're going to do this. So, age. If the mother is middle-aged, mother's health is at +2. Benefits. You know, Physicality, you're fairly adept, you're fairly fucking strong. Drawbacks. If the mother has a physicality, actually has a vigor of 2 or less. Actually has a vigor of 1. The mother has a +2 on health roll. Mother and child have a +2 on their health rolls. If the mother has an infection, major injury, or their vitality is less than 50% of their base value, both of them, mother and child have +2 to their health, rolls. Let's see what. So I should do if the mother is giving birth in poor conditions. Let's see if the mother is giving birth in poor conditions. Oh. Because, yeah, the unfortunate truth of the matter is that it is quite easy to die during childbirth at this, It is very easy to die during childbirth, it turns out. Fun fact. Just want to make sure people know that. It's not a fun and exciting adventure. It is very harrowing for the entire everything, actually. It's just horrible. Everyone's going to die. So, hello. Hello. Sometimes people make a mistake. Side note, bastards. Bastard, you bastard. Dun. If I want to be really precise, I need to add the characteristic system, which I could do because it's fine. It works pretty well. Needs to do because all characteristics are just like these are just notes about your character that are cool and important, and really say, hey, this is my family. This is my like lineage, effectively. Perhaps I should. Where would I put that though? Here's what we can do. We put it like this. How much of marriage can we fit in? We put in marriage, quite a bit of marriage. We can do that. We do that. I put in a side note right here. We put in a big side note about like, why are we talking about this? This is the reason we're talking about things. But we're going to need to do. A cycle of life and death. Good. Each clan is assigned 2 characteristics. Each clan is assigned 2. Each clan is assigned 2 character is assigned. Actually, no. Each clan. How do I want to word it? Actually, no. Each clan, each clan member is assigned 2 characteristics that are elements of their personality, or physical identifiers. These are non-mechanical and dictate how they approach situations or what they look like. to the history book. We'll pretty much put the history book in 1-to-1. I think that works fine. I don't think that's going to be inherently wrong. Okay. It says characteristic family. These are tied to the family, and as they develop and as they pass down certain characteristics, it will begin to define as they pass down their legacy. It will begin to define what their clan and define what their family looks like and acts like. And then we do this. We go over here. The major themes during story is keeping the family consistent with looks and genes and such. We'll replicate this if characteristics used for 3 generations in a row. It's soon to be locked for the next character. One of the major themes, let's see. Characteristics that are passed down for 3 generations. 3 generations become locked into that family. That family's look and perspective on the situation. We do that. That gives us a little bit more room to work with, because we're going to have to put in a chart here. Becomes locked in that family's look and perspective on Callis. The third generation, the ones to inherit the characteristic will instead lock that trait. Will instead lock the characteristic. Will instead lock the characteristic and take another one. For subsequent generations will have that aspect locked. Would have that aspect locked to automatic ends and be automatically applied if no other conflicting characteristic is placed on top of it. So what we're going to do, so we clearly kind of talk about, like, here's what characteristics are like. We want to kind of give what the clan's looking like. What does adulthood look like? What does marriage look like? We put in some side notes right here. What's issue looking like? We do that. It's going to have all of our characteristics. Bastards are kind of a little bit different. Yeah, so all the way here, bastards. This is usually sort of a bastard, unfortunate creature that is a member of the family by one side. When a bastard is born, there are 3 options. Acknowledged, brought into... even if light is not brought into it, but it's taken care of. Was taken care of by the clan, but it's taken care of by the clan and the Clanhead and the Clanhead themselves, and the Clanhead themselves. This is most Tunisian, the most Tunisian bastards. Acknowledgement, brothers and sisters. This is common. This is common among Somi and common among Dina. And so Dina and Somi. Actually, this is common. Actually, so, Anesian or Morin. Given truce brought formally into the clan, given full rights and name of their mother and father. This is reserved for the reigning. They are by all accounts, trueborn children. The Dine do not discriminate on do not discriminate on bastards, though resentment is common. It's kind of like, generally speaking, it's just like, yeah, you are still technically his kid, and we're not going to like complain. No, we don't really care. I mean, if he gets away with it, that's cool on him, but it's still like, yeah, I mean, you can still Clansmen may have bastards and they inherit one of their parents' characteristics. In addition to the way we parent, these introduce some quirks into the gene pool as bastards are cropping up with bizarre characteristics and personalities. Bastards are acknowledged or legitimized. Acknowledged or legitimized are eligible for clansmen. Eligible for clansmen characters. Are eligible for the PL to play. Like, hey, you are a bastard. You are a child born out of all of this. Have fun. Going to pretty much put in the entire. We're going to put in the entire system here because I don't want to write another fucking generic system for this. Just like, nope, this is what they're going to get. It's going to be nice and simple. Like, what is... Babes and toddlers, so that's actually heading 3. Yeah, we're getting down to heading 4 at this point. Yep. That's this. Heading 4. You know, these young nobles with the fine points of life and that. These young clansmen must learn the finer points of life and etiquette, going through the basic education. Going through basic education. Well, a dedicated teacher will. will normally be the chief tutor for the children. Other members of the clan offer words of wisdom and train to the young. A child can be suited for the education in the first 5 years. Develop traits correlate to the education they will receive. Children with the equal amount of 2 categories may be placed in either. The clan may decide to wait and develop further, rolling for a trait. Developing traits. Affectionate. 2d6 and having the clansman choose one. Should they be the primary caretaker or interact with them often? That's the next generation of the next generation. They often influence how the Bale acted for the bot and others interacting with them. Let's see. So this, we're gonna change everything to PT sends. We're gonna put everything like this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna change everything over to what it needs to be. You may say, "No, Pad, you gotta be. Why are you doing this?" This isn't right. This isn't correct. You should be more astute, and you should just make sure you do the whole thing, do this whole shit again. And it's like, I already made a game like this. Don't really want to doing this again. Wasn't really in my playbook, but okay. This is actually going to be the important part. We're going to be playing with traits here a little bit. We're going to be playing with attributes a smidge here, as well as some skills. I know how I want to do it. I just need to put everything in it this way. So we have to do this. What we're going to do is we're going to do this. We need to adult court education. There's a very specific one we need. There we go. Court education, martial education. These are going to have to get changed around quite a bit, but that is something I am willing to do. We could nicer. I'm willing to do this. This isn't going to be too hectic. Clanhead is being played during this time, but not like to see played during the birth problems or poor rolling it up. During this time, I'm going to make a bigger note here with all these. I'm just going to mark this in red. The big thing here is that you can actually play a kid in BCS. Why aren't dice pencils a bigger thing in tabletop board games? They are in prison. They're actually very big in prison. not lying here that they just really aren't, because they're just not very common. This we're not going to do. A history book needs to be in here, which we're going to put 2. I just want to plan saga, family matters, like a life and death, adulthood, marriage issue, age toddlers, young children. You need to be heading 3 instead. To mark you. I just want to get everything in place. That is a factor here. Because that is just the family management section. This is just, these 10 pages are just about the idea of the family. This is how it works, this is what we're doing with them, this is how they're going to act. The family. How do you know they are a big thing in prison? Because I've read many articles about how people play in prison, because it was an interesting story. And apparently, because the thing is, you can't have dice in prison. So what you do is you end up making pencils out of dice. You make dice out of pencils, because they usually have six sides. So it's like, hey, it's kind of a 2-for-1. And if they damn well know you're just using it for fucking D20s and stuff. Prison role-playing is there's actually a lot of, what I can find, where's the one that I saw? Yeah, no, that was it. It was, yeah, it was a Vice article here, actually. They ended up having to, like, legitimately make their own dice. Because that's what you have to fucking do. Or things are very handmade and they're not very efficient. Or they have like the little weird spinners going on. Or they have pretty much people, you improvise, let's say. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. It was actually a very, interesting article. Which, if you ever get bored, read it. Remember when Vice used to write cool articles? I remember when Vice used to write cool articles. Now Vice writes crap. Okay, so we've got all of this. We've got how to make children. We've got what family looks like. We're going to move directly on to... Just want to take a note for myself more than anything. Let's move directly into the warband combat. This one's gonna be, I don't know where I want to put that one. I might put that in a later place. All right. Callis is not ideal. Callis is not ideal for a large scale. So Callis is not ideal for a large scale. Okay. Callis is not a ideal. Callis is not an ideal place for large military maneuvers. Mostly due to the inhospitable. Mostly due to the rugged terrain and ability for fighters to scatter and hide among the woods. Night among the woods. For Anesian expeditions have been thwarted by the vastness of Callis's by the vastness of Callis's woods. Woodlands and rocky mountains, and rocky mountains being ideal for small scale hit and run tactics. As such, most combat that breaks out in Callis is at a warband scale. With only a few dozen, with anything ranging from a few dozen to a few hundred men on either side, routing quickly after a heroic commander takes an axe to the chest. During the clan will while on Callis, the clan will need to rally its men. Let's see. While on Callis, the clan will need to rally its men and prepare for these battles. It may not be. Oh God. Well, Callis clan will need to rally its men and prepare for these battles. It may not be and prepare for these battles. Okay, so I want to set warband combat up as well. So how are we going to do this? Let's just take a second and how are we going to do warband combat? Well, seize the initiative. Easy enough to understand. We're probably going to take some differences there. We're going to make things a little bit easier. Battle map. We don't really need to worry too much about battle map. We can do the exact same system there. What we are going to do is we are going to talk about if we get down here, we are going to our first section, heading to first section is going to be composing the warband, building a warband. Building the warband easy enough to understand? How do we build our warband? Then we're going to go on to battlefield initiative. We move on to blood-soaked ground. We move on to blood-soaked ground. Then from there, we're going to move on from blood-soaked ground to what are we moving on? Oh God, that's not how my back's supposed to go. Good Kabaraki. Hello, Kalu Kalay. I need to get new coffee creamer. The creamer I got kind of sucks. The thing with this coffee creamer is I shake it up, I do everything you're supposed to, but it always just like goes to the ground, goes to the bottom of the cup, and it's like, oh. I just kind of take, like, it doesn't really even have that much flavor to it. I was like, oh. And it was supposed to be so good. Vanilla caramel. I was like, oh boy, vanilla caramel. And it doesn't taste like vanilla or caramel. It tastes like milk. Shitty milk. Skim milk. I'm like, no. Feel so fucking sad. Building the warband, battlefield initiative, battlefield, action, orders in, combat orders. We're not going to have reactions in this. They're just going to be combat orders. Like, what are we doing on the battlefield? So what we can actually know, we'll do, leaders and heroes. How about that? So this is how we're going to build combat out a little bit. Okay, so hardest part. Let's do the hardest part first, because that's how I do things. So, every warband is composed of the soldiers that have pledged allegiance or been drafted by the Great Clan and their holdings. Every holding the clan owns has a manpower statistic. This is the number of able-bodied men currently able to be recruited by the clan to fight their wars. When building a war band, that manpower is the currency. Tabarachi quote of the week: "To use your words is the strongest sword." Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. At least it's not like complete nonsense. Or like so overly edgy that it loops around to being comical. That's the real gamer moment. Oh, my poor Doki nightmare. Truly. Ganbare Doki-chan. Ganbare. Ow. Okay, so when building warpad, manpower is the currency. The clan during the rallying cry, the clan will distribute manpower to different units. The different units based on what they can afford, and based on what they can afford. Every manpower not only contributes to constructing a unit, constructing a unit, to creating a unit, but also Manpower not only contributes to creating a unit, but also the amount of punishment that unit can sustain. That unit can sustain in the heat of combat. In the heat of combat. While the clan can have 100 units of one man, they'll be quickly cut down by a larger unit with more men in it. Okay, so this is where things start getting a little bit hinky-winky, so we're gonna... Every holding the clan owns has a manpower statistic. Okay, so name of the unit, attack, power, skill. Actually, no. Name of the unit, martial skill, damage. So we have damage. We need manpower, other cost. This would be unit type, martial, mel/ranged, damage, vitality. No, not vitality. That's not how it is. We don't need vitality. So unit type, martial, range, damage. We are going to be dealing with fucking my brain is melting. I just completely forgot. Oh yeah. Manpower, other cost. So, actually, manpower, cost, note. So, this is what we're working with. So, if we just want to do like a very basic, keep hitting Control N. I just want to do a very basic unit. Let's just do militia. Militia spear, militiamen. What's their martial? Martial's going to be 3, range is going to be 0. These militia militia spears. We'll call them militia spears. What's their damage going to be? Generally speaking, it's going to be 1d6. That's all the damage they're going to do. They're not going to do we'll do 2d6 damage. They aren't going to do that much damage. Actually, unless we base it off of size. Actually, what we can do is we can base it off of, let's say the militia spears only do about D3 we'll do like, we'll say D6, they do D6 damage, but depends on the size, they might be able to do bonus damage. That'll work. Cost is going to be, it's going to be one manpower, easy enough to understand, always available. You can always recruit militia, like militia bows. They're dog shit in melee. They have absolutely no melee skill. They're, actually, no, we'll even do like this. What is their damage? They do D3. They cost 1 manpower. 1 manpower, and they're always available. The above two are the simplest units that the clan can muster. Militia. 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 Yeah, simplest units the clans can muster. Going from left to right, each of the unit statistics will determine certain aspects about them. The martial mel slash RNG melee slash range indicates the unit's skill at being in melee. Oh god, we're right at the bottom here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna bring this up here, so it's like, oh hey, you know, like first thing you see is this. Or we can do this. So this would be the two units below are the simplest units the clan can muster. Militia. Going from left to right, each of these unit statistics determines certain aspects about them and their battlefield role. Actually, we can probably put in protection as well, so it's kind of like, hey. So, this is our very basic character. These are a very basic look of things. It's not perfect, but it'll do for right now. Range melee. The skill of being in melee or ranged combat. During a battle, the unit will be able to move into range of their enemies and begin the assault, trying their best to rout them in bloody combat, in bloody skirmish. Each of the units will have an independent ability with their melee or range capabilities. What I can actually do is even reduce this further to like that. For example, the militia spears have 2d6. Well, actually, the militia spears will roll 2d6. We'll roll 2d6 while in melee combat. While in melee combat to inflict casualties. Yeah, to inflict casualties. But as they have no RNG dice, but they have no range skill, they cannot attack from range. They would be unable to attack at range. But the militia bows have no proper melee weapons. To inflict meaningful losses to their the thing of the fight. Protection is the amount of armor amount of armor and protection amount of armor the unit has. Whenever they are attacked, the protection is reduced. The protection reduces the amount of damage the unit will take. Let's see. When they attack, protection reduces the amount of damage the unit will take. As neither of the militia, let's see, as neither of the militia have any protection, they will take the full amount of damage. They'll take the full amount of damage. We're gonna stop this a little bit, make sure that it kind of works, even though it doesn't. They will take the full damage. Damage is the amount of casualties the unit will inflict if they successfully hit. Let's see, the amount of casualties the unit will inflict for every successful attack. As all attacks are opposed. For every successful attack. If they manage, because how I'm thinking about doing combat is going to be very similar to, mano a mano combat. The idea being is you're fighting to oppose them, they're fighting to oppose you, but you just need to beat a basic target number. It's this unit has, this unit is in this terrain with this situation. They have a target number of 2. You are both going to roll at one another, and whoever, as the number of successes you get, you are going to deal that many casualties, because everything is going to be retributive. So it's kind of like, if you can kind of think about it like everyone is parrying, but instead of being a strict counter, you both deal damage to one another. It's a little bit more about positioning. I want to be in a position where I will do the most amount of damage to you, and you will do you have the least amount of damage to me. Hence why bigger units are going to be a little bit better, but it's not as maneuverable effectively. Actually, I can probably remove let's remove strides. Because if we remove strides, we can just tie that to the number of people in the unit. And my casual will inflict for every successful attack. Protection, for every success rolled. Depending on the size of the unit, this damage bonus. Depending on the relative sizes of the unit, this damage may be augmented. Because it's going to be kind of the idea, like, there is an overwhelming number of them, and there aren't many of you. However, you're just better, and you're doing 2d6 damage per success. they're doing D3 damage per, they're doing D6 damage per success and rolling 4 dice. You're rolling 6 dice, but you're rolling 6-7 dice and do 2d6 damage per success. But they have half as much, so they're going to get a slight damage bonus at the end of things, just by virtue of them being twice your number. But it's also like, well, all right, let's roll. Like, oh wow, wowie zowie, I've rolled 3 hits and I've done 66 damage to you, and I fucking annihilated your unit on the retaliation. Just absolutely body a motherfucker. Let's see. We want to be, and finally, we're gonna go to cost. Is the cost is the number of resources. Number of resources required to fill the to create a unit. Every manpower spent. Every manpower spent creating a unit. Actually, no. They roll 2 successes. If they roll 2 successes, they would deal 2d3 damage. Cost is the number of resources required to create a unit. Every manpower spent creating a unit is added to the total is added to the unit size, and in turn their ability to survive the conflict. See, unit size and ability to survive the conflict. So if the militia spears have 25 manpower spent on it, they have 25 size, and thus can sustain 25 casualties. That's kind of the idea, is like the amount of manpower you actually spend on it is going to increase. But some are going to be like, you want to create a really good unit, a really nice, well-armed super unit. It might cost you 3 manpower. Yeah, actually every manpower spent creating a unit is added to the unit size. Actually, no, it would be, you might need manpower, but you might also need to spend on something else. You don't really have that much resources. You have glory, gold, and I need to let's see, cost of the number of resources created unit. Actually, to create a No. A little bit awkward, but we might need to hammer out how resources work first before we start really getting into how certain units are created, but that wouldn't be the worst option in the world. Well, we're just explaining. We are just explaining this in like the most like raw, like we just need to talk about this tier. Vinegrians. Let's see. But if the clan wants to outfit a few cavalrymen, they will need to spend one wealth for every five size to outfit their cavalry. Maybe we can do something like that, but then we're gonna go to and we're already heading 3. Okay, let's see. Unit strides and sizes. That's not gonna work. No. Okay, so let's think about this. We do unit size. We've already addressed what it is. We don't know how they move. Addressed it at the battle. We addressed it in the battlefield, the battleground. About unit size and in turn their strides, amount of strides they're going to be working. We do it by strides. We can then break it down into infantry, cavalry, and that's not it. Okay. Let's talk about battlefield initiative. Then we do blood-soaked ground. We do that into battlefield. we're going to talk about battlefield initiative. We'll put this down here. If we want to do battlefield initiative, we need to go all the way back up here. Find the initiative section. When battle breaks out. We're going to be using the same idea here. It's the same concept, but it's going to be a little bit different. So when a battle breaks out, all of the... No. Now we need to talk about leaders and heroes first, don't we? Yeah, okay. We're going to have to talk about leaders and heroes first. We do talk about leaders and heroes. The idea here is different. So... the battle breaks out when the battle lines are drawn. All of each unit with a hero will roll each unit with all of the leaders and heroes will make a initiative check. Heroes leading units directly. Heroes leading units directly will roll cunning plus tactics. We'll roll martial plus tactics. We'll roll martial plus tactics. Tactics or leadership. Actually, yeah. All heroes leading units directly will roll martial plus tactic. We'll roll martial plus tactics. While the leader will for every unit not led by a hero roll a stewardship. A leadership. Each of the we already know how this works. We've already established how initiative works, but we're just changing up how we're doing things. All of the unattended units. All of the units not led by a hero will act on the same initiative. All units not led by a hero will act on the same initiative, either being controlled by the leader, or doled out among the clansmen to and act. If the combatants are Warband is ambushing a target, they will receive boon 2 for their initiative. However, if the warband is assaulting a fortified location or against a defense position, they'll bane 2. Combatants are ambushing a fortified group, they will have no boons or banes. When a unit successes initiative, they will take their turn, allowing the number of action. Take their turn. 2 or more of the same number of successes, they are assumed to be acting simultaneously and leaping into action. Acting simultaneously. Every combatant's turn is called the round. When the round ends, every every hero has two options. They may keep their current initiative, adding +1 to it, or may reroll initiative with no boons or bans. A leader may choose to reroll their initiative, but never increase it. That's kind of the idea, being like, as a leader, it's harder for you to like kind of get that raw. Actually, no, a leader, fuck it. A leader cannot reroll their initiative, but will continue. Cannot reroll their initiative, nor will they increase it. It's kind of the idea being like, as a hero, you're leading an individual unit. That is you. That is your unit. You are personally guiding them, and you are contributing your bonuses, your melee, your range, all of your benefits. You're contributing it to the unit. A incredibly competent commander, and I mean a really damn good commander, in charge of a militia unit is going to do quite well versus a completely untrained, really good unit. Because there's someone clearly competent leading them who is really damn good at their job. They're a hero. They're an important character to the story. On the other hand, you have one character who's going to be designated the leader. The leader can be a hero of their own unit, but they will pretty much be the one managing the entire army. Everyone else in the warband who does not have a thing, that's going to be their responsibility. Which has their own issues with it, where it's like you're kind of encouraged to, hey, break up your clansmen a little bit, have them go other places, but you may want to stack clansmen in one unit, because hey, this is our really good unit. We want multiple of our best guys being there, but we're just gonna rely on one other guy to be the main leader. The hero-less units, you could say, are going to be the idea is that they're not the ones making the big plays. They are your main, kind of the body of your war band. They're operating kind of on their own. You've given them orders, effectively, and that's kind of the idea. You presuppose that you've given them orders, and they're now moving into position. They're doing their job. They're kind of reacting by what they've been told. You don't have anyone personally there to guide them, and they're just using their raw stats pretty much, but you have 3 units there, kind of thing. You are working together, even if you aren't really knowing it. What we want to do, we're going to put blood-soaked ground. Blood-soaked ground, we need to go all the way back up. I want to find not the equipment section. I want to find the movement section, the battle map section. Go. We're just going to add all of this together. We're going to go all back down here. Blood-soaked ground. Every battle takes place somewhere. When it breaks out, the bard will provide a small hex map for the war bands to place themselves upon. This hex map is represented in strides, reflecting the numbers. As they cross it. Depending on the location, these strides may be more difficult to cross, blunting an unrelenting advance, or setting up an unrelenting advance, or ending a charge before it begins. X difficulty, kind of same idea here a little bit. Like, so we're not really worrying about cover, really, because why would we? This is war scale. This is war band scale. Things going on, so we need to do this. unit size, actually unit type, small size, medium size, large size, massive. Unit type. Small stride. Small stride. Actually, we can call it band stride. Unit. Band stride. That'd be a good. Formation stride. Would be a phalanx. No. Like, it's kind of like, hey, you are a band of guys. Like, you're a band. You're a very small unit. You're very maneuverable, though. You're able to kind of hike along things a lot easier. If you're a formation, you're kind of like an average size. What would be something larger than a formation? But not like just a pure horde. How much blood is required for the ground to become soaked instead of damp? Well, as blood is fairly heavy, not too much actually. Let me see. Band formation. Band formation. Blank horde. Actually, okay. Unit type, this would be infantry, cavalry. Let's see, it's infantry, cavalry, and archer. Would you consider archer to be its own independent unit type of like for movement purposes? That's a question. I think so. It's kind of like, yeah, it's foot versus cavalry. Are you mounted or are you not? If you're a band stride, you're gonna be moving fast. Cavalry is gonna be moving a lot faster though. And it's gonna gradually kind of cavalry will always end up outpacing you. That's kind of the thing. Like the slowest cavalry is as fast as a band. But that's kind of the idea, is like cavalry though is kind of in a shitty place and you don't want to be as a cavalryman. So we want to do each of the units have each unit has a size which dictates their base stride, and how far they are able to move, and how much movement they receive during the move action, during the march action. Larger units move slower as they are more awkward to maneuver, but have longer staying power than their smaller counterpart. So it's kind of the idea of like, hey, like, yeah, you're moving slower, but you're also, you have 80 guys and you've crashed into a squad of 20. Yeah, they're going to, like, you've crashed into a squad of 25 guys. You're a horde of 80 guys, 85 men, and suddenly you have crashed into their ass. They are not going to make it out alive. Like, you are going to overwhelm them. You're moving slower, but I'm reading the maid RPG, and I don't know where you get your personality and appearance from. Do you pull that from your maid type, or do you make it up? There should be charts for it, because it's the maid RPG. So bear that in mind. You can probably find a chart for it. Ay, ay, ay. Yay, yay, yay. So... Actually, you know what we can do? We can delete this column. I'm going to do this. Put target number, four, 3, 3, 2, 0. NA. These also reflect the target number to strike the type of unit. For example, if a foot unit is on a paved hex, the attackers will need a 4 up to succeed. But if they are assaulting them from assaulting a foot unit on difficult terrain, on a difficult hex, they will require they will only need a 3 up to succeed. So the idea is, if you're out of position, you're going to be in a worse spot, and you don't want to be in a worse spot because that means more hits against you. Increase the target. Ramparts of defensive. Increase the target number to hit the unit by +1. By +1. Plus. Let's see. Ramparts and other defensive positions. Yeah. No. If you're both fighting on hazardous terrain, you are in really bad shape, but if you ambush people in like a river, it's very easy to hit them. So you don't really want to be, hey, I'm going to hit you from this area, and be like, no, you're just gonna get fucking overrun. Occupying that defensive position. Placing a Bane 2 upon their attacker. Placing a see. Effectively, I'm planning to strike them. Effectively placing a Bane 2 upon their attacker. Maybe hills, fortress walls, or earthen ramp. Hills or fortress wall. These may be hills, defensive walls or earthen ramparts to keep or earthen ramparts. Yep. So here we go. This is the blood-soaked ground. This is the idea here. So, hey, we've entered a earthen tile. 3 to hit on both sides. Oh no, we're being hit by arrows in this earthen area. They know where we are. Fuck. They have 5d6. I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4. I rolled 4 hits. D6, D3 damage each. So I'm going to do 4d3 damage. I roll. That's a 3. That's a 2. So that's 6, 8. I've done 10 damage to the unit. 10 men have just plink. Arrows go flying. Enter my soldiers, and suddenly we are not doing too hot. Things are very bad. My men are dying. Oopsie doopsie. This is bad. So I'm going to call it here for right now, just because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and I'm going to work on it probably tonight and tomorrow. It's great. It's just me having to sit here and just work on things. I haven't had anything to eat, so I'm going to eat something. So thank you all. Godspeed, good luck, and have a wonderful rest of the night.